I've been thinking about accents a lot lately, like English dialect accents.
Specifically English dialect accents.
Yeah. It's harder for me to
like
differentiate.
Like British, you mean?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, like English speaking, Like I can't differentiate accents in Italian because
gotcha. I mean, that is something that's fascinated me,
Yes.
Do you have a favorite accent, Emily?
I don't know. I've been listening to an audiobook where the audiobook reader is doing a real good job of getting just all the UK accents in there. And Celtic accents are fun, like Irish and Scottish, like that area.
Can you do one?
Boy, not reliably.
That's exactly why I want to hear one.
Unfortunately, none of that relates to this episode of Butter No Parsnips, but we're
parsnips.
Here. Oh, parsnips.
Welcome to Butter No Parsnips. Every week on Butter No Parsnips, your hosts Emily Moyers and Kyle Imperatore take you on an adventure through the weird, wacky, wonderful, and sometimes even wicked world of one wayside word. Strange characters, delightful bits, and general joyousness abound. Join them as they test each other's etymological expertise.
Listen, you guys, I'm Emily Moyers.
I'm Kyle Imperatore.
Kyle, you gotta stop imitating what I do. It makes me feel like an idiot.
I'm sorry, we were talking about accents.
It's true.
That's my Emily accent.
It just sounded dumb. It's real good. It's spot on.
I didn't mean it that way.
Listen, Kyle.
Yes.
I've got a word.
I was just going to say, it looks like you've got a word on you.
I've got it. Yes, I've got it right on my head. There. Yeah, in the pocket on my head. I've got a hat with a pocket in it.
Yeah.
And it's right up here. Let me just get it out.
Yeah,
unfold it. Seth's going to put in all these unfolding sounds.
Yeah.
Your word that I've got right in my hat is apricity.
Oh.
Apricity. Apricity.
I feel like I heard this recently and I was like, that's not a real word. Okay, so immediately I see the first 5 letters and I think apricot and I wonder if there's a connection there.
Sure.
But I don't know the etymology of apricot, so that really doesn't help me at all. Is it fruit related?
It's not really. I can't personally see any connection to apricots, so I'll save you some spin in there.
I'll find a connection by the end of the episode. Just you wait.
Your sentence at the end has to have apricity and apricot.
And apricot? Good. I'm guessing it's a noun.
It is a noun.
I'm guessing it's Latin?
It formed in English, but it's derived from a Latin root.
Latin roots.
Yeah.
Okay. And just to rule this out, I guess, I'm just making sure this isn't like some kind of cookware brand called like Apron City.
No, apricity.
Apricity.
Yes.
Is this something you would describe a human with?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Okay. Is it an animate object you would describe this with?
I mean, it's a noun.
Hey, this is Butter No Parsnips. Welcome to the top of the episode. Emily, it sounds like you got a word for me today. What's that word gonna be, huh?
How you doing, Kyle? We're a couple minutes in. How you feeling?
What? Huh? What?
I'm just saying the clock's ticking on how much we can let the audience sit through this.
Apricity, my final guess for the $1 million question. Apricity is the state of morbidness.
Ooh, no. But this could be morbid. Apricity,
lay it on me, Emily.
Apricity means the warmth of the sun in wintertime.
I love it. I feel it right now. I want it.
When I received this word as a suggestion, I happened to be in Florida during a cold snap, and I was like, this is very apt.
That's lovely.
Yeah. So, would you like to hear about this word?
Yeah, tell me about this word, Emily. I want to hear about apricity.
Apricity originated in 1623 in a dictionary. That is the first written usage that we have of it, is in a dictionary.
So is it like we think people were saying it beforehand, or just somebody was like, these suffixes and prefixes go together?
We're not sure. It comes from Henry Cockerham's The English Dictionary, or An Interpreter of Hard English Words.
Oh, okay.
And the title goes on, if you want to hear.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you know how much I love that.
Yes, we've discussed on this podcast before, a lot of old books have real long titles.
Yeah.
This particular one is The English Dictionary, or An Interpreter of Hard English Words, enabling as well ladies and gentlewomen, young scholars, clerks, merchants, and also strangers of any nation, to the understanding of the more difficult authors already printed in our language, and the more speedy attaining of an elegant perfection of the English tongue, both in reading, speaking, and writing.
I guess there was a point in time where publishers, or writers, I guess, really thought unless somebody is named in the title of a book, they're not going to know it's for them.
We got to say who it's for.
Cover
we got to sell them what they're going to get from this book.
Yeah. It's like why we have abstracts now for scholarly articles, but they were just like, put it in the title, or else they're not gonna even crack that baby open.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want any white space on this title page.
Yeah,
we gotta fill her up.
Printing press, we don't need one. Do it the old-fashioned way. We're gonna fill that page up
by hand, baby.
By hand.
Kyle, do you feel like we should have like a run-on sentence extended title for our podcast?
Oh my God, absolutely, Emily. Oh my God, put that down.
I mean, why wait, Kyle?
Oh, right now?
Today will be yesterday tomorrow. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Are we going to do like every other word?
Well, to tell the truth, Kyle, I've come up with my submission in advance.
Oh.
So you got to come up with yours, and then I'll share mine.
Okay, so mine is going to be butter no parsnips, semicolon, or comma, a first-hand account of the most horrid, disastrous, wonderful, meaningless, torrid, plentiful, marginalized, incredulous, increpidating... inktastic words known to men and gentwomen speaking the English tongue, hyphen also for yokels.
Really good. We're going to type that out and make it look real nice.
Cool,
I want you to know that Seth was trying to write it down along with you as you said it. And fell behind so quick.
So funny. Good stuff. I want to hear yours though, Emily. What do you got?
So I mean, I gave myself a bit of an advantage. I spent about half an hour workshopping mine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll be on the same level as mine,
Yeah, absolutely. Mine is Butter No Parsnips, or a hearty and humorous presentation of fine and forgotten words, which, though they may enrich no tubers, may serve to fancify one's speech, impress one's peers, tickle one's brain, and brighten one's day.
Emily, that is incredible. It's inktastic.
Like I said,
I love that.
I spent some time working on it.
I mean, well worth it. Yes. I mean, we should change most of our social media to being that full title. That's going to confuse no one.
But let's get back to my good friend, Henry Cockerham.
So, we're going to talk more about this dude.
Yeah, this dude
is
who
he
made
the
this
Cockerham
dictionary.
of the Walkerham?
He is. He actually is. He was a lexicographer, as in someone who studies lexicons and compiles dictionaries in the early days of English language dictionaries. There had been bilingual dictionaries like Latin English dictionaries or French English dictionaries back to the early 1500s, but solely English dictionaries didn't appear until the early 1600s. And Cockerham's is literally the third one ever.
That's insane. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's way too long for us to go without somebody saying, hey, maybe we should just write some of these things down.
Yeah, and he's actually the first solely English dictionary to have dictionary in the title. The first two did not.
Wow.
Yeah.
What were they called? Were they called wordsomopsies? A fine list of write-em-ups.
One was called The Table Alphabetical, and one was called The English Expositor.
Yes, I think we didn't talk about it, but I think I looked up The Table Alphabetical and ABCdery.
One of the earliest bilingual English dictionaries is one that we've talked about. I think it's just called The Dictionary of Sir Eliot Knight, which had an entry of quincunx in it.
Sure.
We'll hit them all someday. We'll get the second one in, and
we'll do like a full like review, like numbering best to worst dictionaries.
Top 5 English dictionaries on Watch Mojo. Read Mojo. But Henry Cockerham's The English Dictionary was what's called a hard word dictionary, as in difficult words were in it.
Right.
It was, as the title suggested, it was aimed to like help the common people or people who were learning English as a second language maybe understand words that you don't come across in life as much.
I mean, good for him,
But yeah, he's a real swell dude, it sounds like. And his dictionary was actually the first appearance of a lot of words that no one's heard of, some of them very wild, and I'm sort of inclined not to share them in case I want to use them.
I definitely don't. Because
there might be some podcast-worthy ones.
I just want to hear your reactions.
You want me to just read them in ooh and ah?
Yeah.
Well, we'll hit a couple later in the episode. Okay. That'll be good. One word that should be shared, Cockerham's dictionary was the first appearance in English of the word ballotron.
Perfect. Amazing. So we have him to thank.
Yes, which he defined as a rascally base knave. Literally, like, I was looking at a list of words that first appeared in that dictionary, and I saw ballotron, and like, the way people laugh after they've had a near-death experience because they're just in shock?
Yes.
That was the laugh that came out of me.
That's how you reacted. I like to think that he's a medieval Elmer Fudd with that definition.
For anyone wondering about ballotron, by the way, we've got a Patreon episode about it.
It's about it. It's so much fun. It's really
We had a
great.
good time with ballotron. And Kyle, as you suggested earlier, given that this dictionary is the first known appearance of a lot of words, it is very possible that some of these words were made up by Cockerham for this dictionary.
But as we've discussed, that's a fine way for words to come into existence.
It is. It is. As we recently learned from our good friend Jessa Faris, it was a game of the time that people would just throw together Latin roots and make up a new word.
Might as well make some money off of it.
Yeah, sure. And apricity is a perfect example of that. There was a Latin word, apricatus, which meant warmed in the sun, which formed out of the Latin adjective apricus, which just meant sunny or, a spot that is warmed by the sun. We're not sure where the winter element came in, because there's nothing in the Latin root that would suggest that. So
it just started to feel Christmassy. Yeah.
Cockerham was writing the dictionary in December.
Yeah.
And said, how do I fit this in? But yes, we suddenly we had the word apricity in English in 1623.
It's a lovely word. That's a word that I would like to incorporate into my vocabulary just because it evokes so much feeling, I guess the person has to know it, though.
It is true. And your odds are not good on that front. Unfortunately, despite Cockerham's best efforts to bring the ivory tower out to the masses and teach people all these fancy words that he may or may not have made up himself, this one did not really ever catch on.
Is he the only person to use it ever?
It's a short list.
Yeah.
So for people who have never used the Oxford English Dictionary's website, it is fantastic. It will give you the definition of a word and also several examples of usages of it through the years. If you look up apricity in the Oxford English Dictionary, it has the definition and the quote from Cockerham's dictionary, and that is it.
Love it. I love when they're basically like, this is the most important usage of this word in history. And it's just it being defined in a different location.
Well, and it literally says in the definition, the OED says, apparently it means this.
One is led to believe.
Yeah, so apricity does get scattered mentions in other dictionaries in, 16, 17, 1800s. There was a small spike in usage in the mid to late 1700s when it appeared in a particular dictionary. Kyle, do you have any guesses as to whose dictionary it might have been that sparked interest?
You said the late 1700s?
Yeah, mid to late.
Webster.
No, earlier, I think.
The Quaker Oats guy. You think he had a dictionary?
I mean, he looks like the Quaker Oats guy.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I don't know. Francis Bacon?
No. Have you ever heard of Samuel Johnson?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Samuel Johnson, his 1755, A Dictionary of the English Language. Should I read his run-on sentence too?
Yes, please.
A dictionary of the English language in which the words are deduced from their originals and illustrated in their different significations by examples from the best writers, to which are prefixed a history of the language and an English grammar.
I mean, his is kind of more like technical. It's less flowery.
To the point, yeah. But yes, his important dictionary, it was sort of the dictionary for like 150 years until the Oxford English Dictionary actually came out in the late 1800s, I think.
Yeah.
Until then, Samuel Johnson's dictionary was like the one.
He was the snakes on the plane guy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Sam Johnson.
Sam Johnson. He's got apricity in there. He defines it as just warmth of the sun or sunshine. He does not involve the wintry
winter
thing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's because he looked back at the Latin and said, there's no reason for it to be wintertime.
That's not what this meant. Huh? Just a 300-year-old typo corrected.
Yeah. I did find one usage of this word, and that is not a dictionary entry, that is very much worth talking about because it's a lot of fun.
Oh.
And this usage comes to us courtesy of one Samuel Klinefelter Hassauer.
Could you repeat that in English, please? Is he Dutch?
He is of German descent.
Okay.
He's a really interesting guy, and if I had more time, I'd do a logomachy on him. But
that's a new definition of the word logomachy.
An exhaustive retelling. Quick version of Samuel K. Hassauer's story. He was born in Pennsylvania, but in a German-speaking neighborhood. So he actually didn't learn English until he was in his teens. He did not come from a wealthy or an academic background, but in his teens and 20s, he managed to get educated in English and math and theology and literature, and went on to have a long career in education and education administration in the early to mid 1800s. This is very much a self-made man, and it is in this educational context that Hassauer uses the word apricity.
It's like in an announcement for like a morning announcement for a school.
Morning announcement is the weather report for that day. So Kyle Hassauer was one of those teachers that you just love to see, where he was like, listen, I'm not going to do this by the book. I'm going to think outside the box, and I'm going to get these kids to have fun and learn at the same time.
Love it.
Yeah. You ever have a good one like that, Kyle?
A good teacher like that?
Yeah, one who's like sneaks in some goofs.
I mean, yes. I mean, I've had so many great teachers like that, but I'm sure they're all listening right now. So I don't want to single any one of them out.
Sure. Yeah. Really, every teacher you've ever had was your favorite.
I mean, yeah, truly. Especially, you know who. You're listening,
they know who they are. Yeah,
you know who
sure.
you are. Yeah.
Very diplomatic.
What about you, Emily? You got any?
I mean, now you've set up that if I single one out, I'm insulting all the others.
Yeah, but like you can't do the same thing as me, so now you gotta.
No, I had a teacher, he was doing SAT vocab with us, and like lesson plan wise, he wasn't doing anything crazy. He like his lesson plan for the vocab words looked the same as like a 6th grade teacher teaching vocab, but he would just like get really hyped about it.
Sure.
Like every Monday we'd learn like our 10 new vocab words, and he'd be like, "Oh man, you guys, it's vocab Monday. Aren't you all excited? It's vocab Monday." And it was just like a very infectious excitement.
I mean, it sounds like it's worked.
It was a great time.
I see a direct through line to Butter No Parsnips.
Yeah, that was the foundation.
I think we need to start a vocab Monday. I guess that's really what Butter No Parsnips is. So, thank you, whoever you are.
Gregory, founder of Butter No Parsnips. Monday.
Founding founder.
Founding founder. Yeah, I couldn't think of another word. Apparently, it didn't work that well.
He didn't teach you those, know.
No, but here's what Hassauer would do. Once a week, presumably on Monday, he would write a letter from Lorenzo Altisonant, which is a character that he invented. Altisonant is a fancy word for like pompous. Or
sure.
Fancy. And every week, Lorenzo Altisonant would write a letter to his friend Squire Pedant, detailing his travels in the West to his friend back in the East.
I mean, and the letters is so fun.
It is so fun. And the letters would be almost exclusively obscure, difficult words, which the students would then have to learn to like decode the letter.
That is so wow. That's incredible.
Isn't that fun?
We could still do that today. Why is no one doing that?
Right? I mean, people could just use these letters that have already been written. You could just pull up one of these letters to Squire Pedant.
Do you have one of them?
I do. I mean, I have so many that I could read from, but I've just got a couple quotes here.
Sure.
So one of the letters, as you can guess, contained the word apricity. Here's the opening of that letter, just to give you an idea of what they sound like. And I'm going to read it how I assume the character Lorenzo Altisonant sounds.
Of course.
Amicable sir, at the termination of my prevenient epistolography, I notified how, at the inchoation of the hymal season, I entered upon an emphyteutic condition with a opponent proprietor of a section of Uberus terra firma, and how Indicator, freed from every traumatic vestige, was occluded in a stramenious kennel. That's the first paragraph.
Emily, I have no idea what you just said, but what an incredible accent.
Thank you so much. I barely know what I just said. I had to Google pronunciations for half of those words.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. I didn't think it would be as star-studded as you had let on.
Like, word-wise?
Yeah, not like, why is Samuel Jackson in this letter?
Yeah, so, like, and, like, the whole letter is like that, with just, like, 10 letters.
I love that. That's so
words.
good.
Yeah. So, the quote that's got apricity, there's just a little sentence I'm going to read, and we'll break this one down to, try to gain meaning out of it. That first one, I'm going to leave untranslated as a little puzzle that you can do
at home. Yeah. First one to solve it gets...
Comment below.
Yeah, comment below and we'll like it.
Yep, we'll like the comment. That's all we're going to do.
Yeah, but secretly on the inside, we're going to...
put you in our will.
Wow. That's... Okay, yeah, I can go for that.
Like the will of the podcast, though. Like our collective possessions for when the podcast dies.
So, which is our Google Drive accounts and our microphones and USB-C adapters.
All right, Kyle, here's this other quote. This one's also very fun.
Lay it on me.
These humicubations, the nocturnal irrorations and the dankishness of the atmosphere, generated by a want of apricity, were extremely febrificient.
It ends with febrificient?
Febrificient.
What the heck does that mean?
Yeah. So febrificient means something that causes a fever.
Oh.
Irroration means sprinkling with dew. And humicubation is the act of lying on the ground. So,
wow.
What he just said was basically, I was lying on the ground and there was dew and the air was wet and there was no sun, so I got a fever.
Wow. Do you think like we're going to get to a point in time where we revert back to talking like that? Where like text speak just goes backwards?
Yeah. I mean, there's only one way we can make it happen, Kyle, and it's That's true. You and I have to start talking like that today.
It's that you and I become co-presidents of the United States and force everyone to speak that way by penalty of death.
Oh my God. And they'll call it the Butternut Parsnips tyranny.
Yeah.
But once we're overthrown, then you get what's in our will.
Yeah. Which is still the Google Drive accounts.
Yeah, no, we haven't gained anything.
Yeah. Love that, Emily. I love that guy. I love all of that.
Yeah. So these letters were later collected and published as a book called Letters to Squire Pedant in the East. You can find it on Google Books for free. They're a very fun time if you're into obscure and difficult words.
I would hope that if they're listening to this podcast,
they've at least got interested.
Yeah, truly. Apricity? What the heck does that mean? If I don't know about it, why would I listen to the episode?
Hate that guy. No, but I love these letters because they were created as an educational tool, as was Henry Cockerham's English Dictionary, which was the original citing of apricity.
Yeah, I mean, those are all like really great ways to teach vocabulary without it being like so dry, as just rote memorization. And more useful, I'd say, than like some mnemonics that we went over.
And now we get to see how well those educational tools worked.
Oh, no.
Kyle, can you use apricity and apricot in a sentence?
Yes. Yes, I can.
I believe in you.
I think I can even use febrifacient.
Febrifacient.
What was the humification one?
Oh, humicubation. That means lying on the ground.
I can't use any of those words. Okay, so.
And could you please deliver this sentence as Lorenzo Altisonant?
Yes, as Lorenzo. Yes, okay. Yesteryear, I was humicubating upon thine quartzite rock. Amidst
You're going great so far. Keep going.
Amidst the apricity of a hot
winter.
Of a hot winter's chill. When unbeknownst to thine apricot came to life in a febrifacient manner, and I was drawn to the pits of Tartarus.
Oh, okay. You fell a little at the end there, but
what? Huh?
Right up until the feverish apricot, you were doing really great.
No. I meant he was feverish, and it was like, am I feverish? This apricot has come to life,
Sure. Kyle, let's play a game.
Let's play a game.
So, Kyle, here's a fun fact for you. Apricity is not the only seasonal word in Henry Cockerham's English Dictionary.
That's a fun fact.
It is. It's so fun. And what's even more fun is I have here a list of words from his dictionary, some of them relating to winter, some of them relating to spring. So, Kyle,
so he's only got those two.
No, yeah,
in his dictionary.
Just winter words, spring words, nothing else.
He hibernated the other two seasons.
Yes. But speaking of hibernation, Kyle, I thought perhaps since at the time this episode will be released, it was recently Groundhog Day, you could tell me if The groundhog sees his shadow, meaning 6 more weeks of winter, as in this was a winter word, or doesn't see his shadow, meaning an early spring, that this was a springtime word.
Love it. I'm all for it.
All right. So your first word, Kyle, is foliation.
Foliation has to be doesn't see his shadow.
Yeah, you got it. It's a springtime word. It means the budding of leaves.
Aw, like when they become friends?
Yeah, when they're buds.
Yeah.
Like you and me, Kyle.
Aw. She admits it on the podcast, but
only then. Yeah.
Yeah. When we're in real life, she she pushes me into puddles.
Yes. Your next word, Kyle, is repullulate.
Oh, no.
That's a $5 word right there.
It's a $5 word. I'm going to have to put $5 on sees his shadow.
Sees his shadow. Incorrect. He does not. That is a springtime word. And repullulate means to bud anew. And pullulate means to bud.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. Next one. Hymate. Hyemate.
I feel like it's a trick, but I'm going to say doesn't see his shadow.
No. Why do you say a trick?
Because why would there be the same answer 3 times in a row?
No, he does see his shadow. This is a winter word. To hymate means to winter at a place, to spend winter at a place.
Oh,
yeah,
like you did in Florida, where you experienced the Apricity.
Yeah, I spent all winter there.
All winter there,
and now winter is over. All right, Kyle. Next one, brumal. Brumal.
Oh.
Could be spelled with 2 L's.
Wait, isn't brumal? I feel like that's from Jabberwocky.
I don't think it's in there.
What's I don't know. Brumal. I'll know it when you give it to me. Oh, wait, I don't need to guess the definition.
No, you just have to tell me if it's winter or spring.
I'm going to go with sees his shadow.
Correct.
Oh, thank God.
This is a wintertime word. It just means of or belonging to winter.
Oh, I like
just
that.
Just winter related. Yep. Last one.
Mm-hmm.
Verdure. Verdour. And this one I could only find in Cockram's dictionary. Couldn't find any other mention of it.
I've heard the word verdure, or Verdure.
Yeah,
so I'm going to assume that it's
similar but different.
Similar. I'm going to say doesn't see his shadow.
Yeah, you're right. It's a springtime word. Verdure, according to Henry Cockram, just means greenness.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Verde.
There was a lot of words with the VER start meaning,
I like verdure
related.
Because you could use it like that's an Agatha Christie novel, the Verdure Murder.
Yes. Well, I feel like it sounds like ardor, which is like an intense word.
Yeah. The ardor for verdure and the apricity of apricots.
Yeah.
We're just writing a whole romance series here. Love it, Emily. Great stuff.
Thanks,
10
man.
thumbs up.
10 thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm gonna, 1, use all of these fancy words in my everyday now, and 2, I'm also gonna speak like run-on titles for these old books from now on.
Even the ones that don't have them, we're gonna invent them.
Yes, exactly. So thank you for that, Emily. Thank you to those of you at home. Remember, you can find Butter No Parsnips on social media, on Facebook, and on Instagram at Butter No Parsnips Podcast. And if you like today's episode, consider giving us a 5-star rating or review wherever you heard us.
And if you really like today's episode, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/butternoparsnips. If you donate $5 or more, you earn a shout out either on social media or right here on the podcast.
Thank you so much to all of you who help us make what we make.
And with that, I've been Emily Moyers.
And I've been Kyle Imperatore, and this has been Butter No Parsnips.
Thank you for listening to Butter No Parsnips. Butter No Parsnips is produced by Seth Gliksman, Emily Moyers, and Kyle Imperatore. The theme music and additional music is by Kyle Imperatore. If you liked listening to this episode, subscribe and give us a good rating and or positive review wherever you heard it. If you really liked listening, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/butternoparsnips. There you can get bonus content you can't get anywhere else, like the monthly Patreon exclusive podcast Buttered Parsnips. Your support means the world to us and encourages us to keep making more. Thanks in advance, and we'll be back next week.